Hey kids, how's everybody out there in YouTube land this evening? What's going on? Anything new and exciting with everybody? Well, we've had a productive day here on the good ship Lily 2, a very productive day. And yet, at the same time, it was not productive at all. Hey, Marilay, what's going on, man? How you doing, Steve? Good to see you here, brother. So, I'm gonna jump right into this. Let me get my components all out here where we can see them, and we can discuss what's going on. So today, hey Akula, what's going on, man? Hey Pilot, what's happening, brother? Hey Cocoa Puffs, what's going on, man? How is everybody this evening? Get my handy dandy little tool. Did you understand my email? I'm sorry about that. Steve, I sort of understood your email, but I have not seen where any they haven't shown any payment. So I don't know. They didn't show any payment at all. Not one, not two, not half, not more. They didn't show any at all. So I'm not really sure what that's all about. But yeah, there was nothing on my end showing any payment whatsoever. So I don't know what happened there. But hey, Coyote. Hey, Lydia. How are you? Stop what, Lydia? Hope you had a wonderful birthday. Hey, John Dolan. Thank you. Triton's Trumpet. Appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you. Anyhow, so here's what we're working on. This is the culprit. This little tiny thing right here, this is the culprit. This has been the problem with the autopilot all along, because this is supposed to be soldered onto a wire, and it was not. It came off the wire. There is well, it's not sort of a set pin, Maui. There's a connector here. You can see it's got two holes through it. Hey, thanks, 12 degrees. Appreciate it, buddy. Hey, Steve, how you doing? You get a fire permit? Yeah, right? Yeah, no birthday cake this year, I'm afraid, but that's all right. That's all right. Hey, J.R. Brown, how you doing, man? Good to see you here. Yeah, yesterday was my birthday. I turned the big 6-0. So, anyhow, so this is the part of the back of the motor on the autopilot, and the wire connects to here. This is one of the wire connectors. There's supposed to be two of these connected, and these stick through. Let me see if I can stick it back in there. These stick through. See, they stick through like that. I don't know if you can see that in there. They stick through that cap. So when the plug goes in, these make the connection. Okay. So behind this little cover shield that kind of isolates all of that, behind that there were two wires sticking up, and I will show those to you. So I'm not going to be able to see the chat here for a moment, but you see those two wires sticking up? This is the motor on the autopilot, and there's two wires here. This wire, you can see, has been modified. They welded on, soldered on a. Oh, sorry guys, my boat's rocking and rolling here. They soldered on a new connection. Didn't do it very well. Doesn't look very professional. But this wire here has nothing on it, and that's what this little doohickey is supposed to attach to. It's supposed to attach to that red wire like that. Now the problem is, as you can see on the other wire, they extended it about 1/4 of an inch, trying to make it a little bit longer than what it was. And so I am endeavoring to do the same thing. I prepped a little piece of 22 gauge wire that you can see right there. I'm going to solder this fitting onto this wire. Now, this is the original piece that was on here, and it had been crimped on. So, you know, what do you do then? Because how do you uncrimp a crimp thing? Well, what I did is I drilled it out. I took a fine drill bit and I went inside and drilled it out, and in so doing I ended up making a couple slots which will be really great spots for the solder to get in there and give me some good connection. So that's going to go on. That's going to go on like that and get soldered together. And then I'll solder this wire on. Whoop, I just dropped it. Great. Where the hell did it go? Well, I can make another one. I soldered this wire, then I'm going to solder it to the other wire, and then I'll have all that back together again. So, but that's kind of what the project was today. I ended up needing a soldering gun. I tried to work out arrangements to get a soldering gun here, but that didn't work out well enough, so that didn't happen. So the job is just sort of stuck while we work out getting a soldering gun. I believe Douglas is going to try to run over here sometime tomorrow with his soldering gun and let me borrow his soldering gun, which will be just perfect. So I was actually over at the hardware store. I got online and was looking at them, and $60 for a soldering gun kit, and all it is a soldering gun in a fancy case. So that wasn't going to happen, but I've tested the line from the power head all the way out to the pedestal. That wire appears to be working just fine. The only problem was this one little wire connection inside the motor. So if we can get this connection here inside the motor fixed and back together, then I think, I do believe we will have a working system. What I'm trying to figure out is how I can tighten this, because this is threaded, without spinning those wires. And I think this inside piece here is supposed to rotate inside there somehow. But I don't know how freed up it is. Because see, if I just put this on here and then thread this thing down, it's just gonna twist those wires up, and they're just gonna break off again. So there's got to be some way that I can get this threaded on without this center hub moving. And right now it doesn't appear like that's going to happen. So there's something I'm missing here. Oh, wait a minute, there we go. There we go, got it freed up, got it moving, okay. Looks like a little bit of grease or oil on there is going to be the order of the day. Yep. All right, we got that moving. That makes sense. There had to be some way for that to twist. So this can twist around it. But apparently I need to get some more oil and grease in there. Obviously it's gotten corroded up with a lot of dirt and stuff in it. So, you know, this is what you do with these little projects. You kind of get in here and you play with it one way and you play with it another way. And it actually, now that I see it, it actually has cuts inside here. You see the little notches in there for putting maybe a wrench on that. But I've got that twisting pretty good now. That's twisting pretty good without that attached. So I don't think that's threaded in there, is it? Huh, maybe it's threaded in there. Maybe there's a threaded piece to that. I don't know. Yeah, apparently that's threaded to on the inside. So there's more to come apart here. Aha! See? That's what you got to do. You got to play with this stuff, and then you can slowly start taking it apart and disassembling it. So, yep. All right. Let me go see what I missed in the chat, because I thought I saw some good ideas in there. I suck at soldering. Have you seen the waterproof soldering? Couple lanes. They are shrink wrapped. They work really well, and don't know if this would work for your application. Yeah, I have seen those, Steve. I don't have room inside this cap for them. Because I also thought about just using like a butt connector in there. And yeah, again, talking about heat shrink tubing, there's really no room to get that in there. So, and Ha 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 ha. Oh, that's so funny. Ha 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 ha. Sorry, trolls. You ain't screwing with us anymore. Oh, too much fun. Shut the ringer off. Goodbye. They're gone. Woo. Oh, you play with it, and yeah, right. One way or the other, you play with it. Yeah, Mike. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of investigating it and taking it apart and disassembling it and seeing what goes on here. So, well, I think I jumped way back in the chat here. Hold on. Yeah, can't use couplings. Not enough room in there. Use a screwdriver and your gas burner to solder. Huh. Hadn't thought about that. Alan might be able to work something like that out. Winter's back with a vengeance. Oh, sorry to hear that, Mike. It's kind of nice here. Bought a soldering gun at Home Depot and returned it after I botched the solder repair job. Well, at least you're honest, man. At least you're honest with us anyway. WD-40, yeah. G'day, Mike Smith. I heard you guys got cold. Mini butane soldering torch. Yeah, Stevie C, I was kind of wondering about that. That might be just the way to go. Waiting for anything on the sailboat. Soldering gun is way too much power. Huh. Okay, Steve. Good to know. Where did you turn it to? Oh, I can look for it on shelf now at half price. There you go, Bill. Just got a 25 watt Weller. Huh. Oh, just get a 25 watt Weller. Okay. Yes, Truth Finder, I did use that. I took some alligator clips and I tested it, and the motor is, in fact, working beautifully. Yep, the motor is working beautifully. I just got to fix that wire connection. 18 bucks for half decent iron at Amazon could turn out to be something handy on the boat. Yeah, I'm giving some serious consideration to that, because right now with my finances being what they are, $18 is a big investment for me right now. So, yep, you play with it. Hey, Slipstream. Should have 3 wires, red, black, and blue. I ran into a problem when they installed the new AC/DC panel, as they only use 2 wires. Autopilot wouldn't work. Black and blue need power. No, actually, Slipstream, this is all mine has is just 2 wires. When you look down inside there, there's only soldering connections for 2 wires. There's no place for a 3rd wire inside the motor housing. So yeah, so that's not working for my my auto helm. So, hey, Patriot Canadian. I thought soldering iron and gun were the same. No, a soldering iron is just like a steel pencil that heats up, whereas a soldering gun uses a little filament and stuff. So, very cold, very dry still. We're in a green drought. Oh, wow, okay. What's so funny? What's so funny is the trolls are trying to make prank phone calls to me in the middle of my live streams to interrupt, and they can't do that anymore. Oh, when are you going to put up netting for Lily? Bill, you know, I don't know yet. Very soon, very soon. I thought Sundays were only for patrons. No, starting next week, Brad. Starting next Sunday. Not tonight, starting next Sunday. I will look. I bet I have an extra one I can send you. Okay. Solder sleeves work very, very well. Okay. I see that Woodbeast is still MIA. Okay, well, Woodbeast is involved with a project right now, guys, so don't worry about Woodbeast. He's just fine. In fact, I heard from him earlier today. He's doing just great. So, computer head is good. Yes, Truth Finder, everything else works. I can connect the power head with alligator clips to the wires here on the motor, hit the button, and the motor works. It goes back and forth. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. I just have to... I just have to solder this bit on there. That's all I got to do is solder that bit on there, and then oil this up and get these sleeves down in there so this can all get tightened up nice and snug, and we'll have all that under control. So, yeah, see, there you go again. Ha ha, trolls. Suck an egg, man. Too much fun. Yeah, so this obviously just threads on. This goes up underneath the cap. This goes on top, threads down, locks it down. Okay, I got this all figured out now. You know, when you get old and your vision isn't as good as what it used to be, and especially when everything is the same color black and it's all kind of dirty, it's hard to kind of see what's what when you're working on stuff like this. So, And that's another thing I wanted to address, but I'm gonna do that when we go up topside. I just wanted to show you guys this mess I'm dealing with down here and how I'm trying to fix this. But the good news is that as soon as I get this wire connection and get this reassembled, I have autopilot, and that is just freaking awesome. And I'll explain to you in a moment what that is. Let me just get caught up with the rest of the chat here, real quick. Hopefully the computer, yeah. Carl, is the netting you got, where did you get it? I had to put up some, Slipstream, I bought it from West Marine. Hey Chief, what's going on? Stevie C, answer it next time. It's a you know, number it's not identified number. I never answer phone calls from unidentified numbers anyway, so you can get netting at West Marine. Yep. I saw a lot of horse asses at the fair yesterday too. Hey pilot. Solder sleeves and our heat shrink and solder one just need a flame heat gun. Yes, I understand that, Mike, and those would work fine. The problem is I have such a small cavity that all this has to fit into. There's not room for all of that in there. So how long till you start putting around again? Thursday. I'm leaving here Thursday. As of right now, with the weather looking like it is right now, I'm leaving here on Thursday. That can change between now and Thursday, but it looks like I'm heading out of here Thursday. Motor bearings are probably dry. Don't forget to lube the motor shaft bearings. Okay. Good idea. Good idea. So you're confident the wire is the culprit? Yes, I've eliminated all other suspects. That's the only thing that it can be at this point. And in fact, I've tested the circuit. Everything else works except for that one broken wire. So we call them nuisance calls in the UK. Yep. Jared, hey y'all, what's up? Okay, so I caught up with the chat. I'm gonna have to figure out how to take that off of there so I can lube it. Not a bad idea. When I removed the cap, there was some water up. There was some water in this area here, in this underneath the cap and stuff when I took that apart, which of course shouldn't be in there. I might try to put a little greaser, plumber's greaser, thread tape or something on there to help seal that up better, so it's a bit more watertight. Of course, I probably need to do a better job of putting the little rubber cap on the end. The problem is this cap is just about dry rotted and falling apart. So, all right, kids, hold on a minute. We're gonna leave down below here and we're gonna go up on deck because it's a really pleasant evening. So, bear with us for a second. Oh, and we will move upstairs. You know, I'm not even gonna bother taking my phone with me. I'm not even gonna bother with it. All right, I'm going to sit you up here for a second. Hold on, guys. I'm coming up. Look, dog, you don't go up while I'm going up. There's only room in the staircase for one of us. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful evening this evening. All righty then. There we go. There we go. Oh, I guess I missed a bunch of stuff in the chat. Let me go back and grab all that real quick. Two friends, no, I've not made it to two friends. Probably make it for one evening. There you go. Everything down, scene 5 6 rollers. Where are you going? Everything down, scene 5 to 6 foot rollers where you were going. Yeah, we'll have the boat well prepared when we get ready to go here. Take the extra battery. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Sure, that looks like you've got some nice weather there. Oh yeah, actually it was raining earlier, and you can see we've got some rain clouds over here behind. But let me kind of give you a little brief look around the bay here. This guy came in anchored pretty close to me, but kind of what the bay looks like that direction. Let me turn around and show you the other direction. Whoop. A little bit trickier here with my tablet as opposed to my cell phone. Beautiful sunset shaking up. Oh, get out of there. Anyhow, so that's what the bay looks like, kids. We've got a beautiful sunset happening. Sailboat sailing coming in right now. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, Peggy Schuler is up in the house. Yo, hey, and Peggy, there you go. Autopilot, single-handed, big. Yes, 12 degrees. Huge tip, actually. And that's something I wanted to talk about, actually. I was going to get in here and talk about that a little bit because, you know, I hear all these people, you know, bitch and moan about my videos and stuff, and I'm not complaining. This is not a complaint. Don't get me wrong. I'm well aware of the quality of the videos and stuff that I put out right now. So, but here's the thing, guys, and here's the thing I don't think a lot of you guys remember. And you know, when I look at guys like the old Sea Dog, who is in the same boat as I am, he's traveling by himself. He has nobody else to hold the camera for him. He has nobody else to help. Every job takes twice as long. You know, I was watching an episode today on SV Delos, and SV Delos, they have 4 crew members or five crew members, and all 4 or 5 of them are involved in doing the editing of their videos. So when they put out a 1-week video, they divide that workload by 4 or 5 people. Well, of course it's easier when you have 4 or 5 people. And of course you've got time and effort and energy to make a much better video. I'm having to do everything by myself. I've got to be the editor, the producer, the cameraman, the talent. I've got to be everything all in one person. So I'm not throwing this up as an excuse, because it's really not an excuse, because, you know, the old Sea Dog, Barry Perrins, he does some pretty good videos too, all by himself. But it does limit what we can do to a certain degree, just because we don't have those extra hands. So it is what it is, kids. It is what it is. So I just thought maybe you guys might think about that a little bit the next time some Yahoo gets on there and complains about the fact that I'm not putting out good enough quality content. So it will get better. It'll get better. I'm slowly making the improvements on the boat. I mean, just like getting this autopilot going. That's going to free up my hands while I'm underway, allowing me to film. And I'm also doing things like mounting camera mounts around the boat. So I've got one mounted back, one mounted here. I've got one now mounted into the back down there. I've got 3 camera locations mounted, permanently mounted inside the salon. So as I'm getting those sorts of improvements made, it's going to make life just a little bit easier to get some of this kind of stuff done. So, and you guys are seeing some of that stuff. You know, you're seeing some of the multiple camera angles and stuff that I did when I did the video on replacing the access panels and stuff. So, what I miss? The stolen plane guy did a couple nice tricks with the big plane. Okay, tablet works much better. I'm glad you like it. See, a guy stole a twin-engine aircraft in Alaska, did some stunts and crashed. Well, that wouldn't surprise me. The camera seems better than iPad. Okay. Talent really does look beautiful where you are. It is beautiful here. Okay. Yep, old Sea Dog does put out some top quality stuff. Yep. Just looked, I have 4 Wellers. You can have one if you wanted. About a $40 soldering iron. Tell me where to send it. Hey, Steve. Hopefully Douglas will jump in on here, and I'll have Douglas give you his address. It's Ranch Road. It's Ranch Road in Levittown, New York. I don't remember the house. I think it's 97 Ranch Road, but I don't remember the zip code. So hopefully Douglas will show up and he can put that in here. So, and I appreciate that, Steve. That would be really cool of you. Old Sea Dog has a steel boat, if I'm not mistaken. You know, Bubba, I don't know if his is steel or fiberglass. I don't remember off the top of my head. He did scary but entertaining. Okay, yes, he does pirate. Okay, Brian Ellis is the luckiest. 16,000 a week. Booze broads, everyone bows down him. Hey, you know, Bill, just think how much easier it would be if I had that big of a boat where I could carry that many people and had that budget. I guarantee you I would be making equally as good videos. I really liked their last video. Don't get me wrong. The last video Delos did where they were talking about some citizen science projects and doing some scuba diving, I thought that video was outstanding, and I told them so. You know, hats off to them. So, Bobby spends 60, 70 hours a week editing, he says. Well, yes, and there's 2 of them, you know. So Bobby probably does a lot of editing, but you can't tell me that she doesn't do a lot of the camera work. So, besides being some pretty good eye candy, which no doubt attracts a lot lot of stuff. So who cares if the quality of the video is not good? William, I care. I really do. Does a wonderful job. I think he uses a stick. Yep. Use the head cam, keeps it interesting. I try to. More people involved, better. Product simple. You're going okay. Well, thanks, 12 Degrees. I appreciate it. Brian does all the work on Delos. No, that is not the case. That is definitely not the case, Steve. In fact, they were just showing on the video today where everybody on the boat, I think 4 or 5 people on the boat, were all editing video. You know, one person would work on editing a video, another person would work on the social media contacts, another person would work on putting together the thumbnail. You know, I mean, there's a lot more to it than just the video. And so, you know, it takes a village, guys. It takes a village, and I don't have a village, so I'm working on it. I will have a village, but just not right now. So, well, Jared, I have no intention of giving up. Hey, Frank, how you doing, buddy? Sorry about your pain, buddy. Sorry about that. Video he does maybe 20%, mostly repair. Okay. Oh, don't dox Doug. I'm not doxing Doug at all. What's the use for paying, Frank? Okay. Well, Bill, be careful giving out addresses. Howdy, Captain and Grandpa. Thanks, Carter Hayes. How you doing? Hello, Death Vader. Yes, I understand responsibility of repair, and if you have all those extra hands, I agree with Carla. Carla. And it's easier, I know, it'd be a bitch and complain if I had to do all the video and all the work. Yeah. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. He means working on boat systems. Well, yes, it is Brian's boat, and Brian does do the majority of the systems work on it. So, hire 2 strippers to sail with you, and your patron will grow. You know, Bill, funny you should mention that. Do you have a new camera? The video seems a lot more crisp. Carter Hayes, I'm using my iPad tonight instead of my cell phone. So it makes things a little bit more difficult for me because I don't have a good mount for my iPad, so I just have to kind of hold you in my hand. I don't have like a tripod or something for it, but I guess something I need to look forward to getting. So video is the easiest part. Editing is what takes the time. Isn't that the truth, Slipstream? Yep. Yeah, easily editing takes an hour for every minute of finished video. So get some hot chicks, right? And peaceful and non-confrontational personalities too. Yeah, Ray, and I don't have that, so I'm a bastard. I know that. Hey, Christine, how you doing? Got my first phototherapy session tomorrow. Hope all goes well. Wow. I'm not sure what phototherapy is for, but I hope it all goes well for you too. iPad works much better. You're hiring strippers. Da 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 da. I'm gonna have Miss Lily strip. She likes walking up there on the platform anyway. Come on, Lily, you gonna strip for everybody? Huh? You gonna strip? Tell you what, the way she's been shedding hair, she might as well be stripping. It's been coming off of her like crazy. So, hey guys, I'm gonna show you some of the sunset here. Hold on. Oh, sorry if it's kind of shaky. I'm trying to hold you as steady as I can. That's not too bad, a sunset happening there, huh? That looks kind of pretty. Okay, guys, you see those jet skis over there? Those 2 jet skis out in the bay? Funny thing about Manhasset Bay, you're not allowed to be riding around in here on a jet ski. But there's 2 jet skis that cruise around the bay all the time. Interesting, huh? Yeah, well, it is the law. It's the fuzz. It's the, what is it? It's the master and the constable driving around on those jet skis out there. You know, they're the guys that tell you where you can park and where you can't park. They're the ones that tell me I could park here. But the 2 jet skis are the harbor master and the bay constable, and they're riding on those jet skis because those jet skis are fast. They don't put up much wake at all, but they can do like 70 to 80 miles an hour on those jet skis on the water. They're really fast. So when you get these other idiots sitting around the bay with their fast boats, those jet skis can catch them. and that's why they use them. Now, they do have a couple big launches. They've got a couple big ribs, and they've got another couple carver boats, and then, of course, the police department's got a couple of boats as well. They've got, I think the Bay Constable has like 4 boats. He's got a jet ski. I've seen him out in a jet ski. I've seen him out in like a skiff, you know, like a Boston whaler. I've seen him out in a little runabout, and then I've seen him out in a great big like 28-foot carver running around. But the Harbor Master, I've only seen the Harbor Master running around in a jet ski, so kind of interesting. But there's a little better view of the sunset right there. Kind of pretty as it's going down. I was kind of hoping some of that cloud cover over there would move so we can see more of it, but pretty nonetheless. So anyhow, what did I miss in the chat? Ahoy, Christine. Thanks, Pilot. I will upfront you the money. We change it to Dirty Grandpa sailing with 2 strippers, 100 Patreon a week. You'll upfront you the money? Okay, Bill, do that, buddy. You do that, and we'll have the girls on board. But you're gonna have to join me on board, man, because I don't know if I can keep up with them. So, phototherapy is firing lights at my body to regulate my skin condition and clear patches off my skin. Apparently, it's a disease. Oh, okay, yeah. You know, Death Vader, I actually had a friend of mine here that had to have that. He also had to take vitamin C and stuff. He had some kind of issue with his skin. The guy, by the way, was a haberdasher. That's what he did for a living. He was a haberdasher. And he was the guy who supplied the NFL with all of their pantyhose. Now, guys, I don't mean the cheerleaders either. They supplied the football players with pantyhose. That was one of his side businesses in his haberdashery business. But yeah, he and I and a couple other guys, we went elk hunting out in Montana years ago on a big backcountry horseback trip, you know. And even back then, he had to do stuff and lay out in the sun and stuff. Even when it was cold, he had to get the UV light on his body. So, and I will be traveling next week, but I'll take it with me and send it from Dallas. Okay, Steve. Steve, see if I can remember, but I'll try to remember it. I'll send you an email after the live stream. I guess these are probably stalkers. No, that's actually the Harbor Master out there on the jet ski. Don't be ragging on law enforcement. You'll get another. Oh, I'm not ragging on them at all, Ray. I think it's great that they're out there doing the job. No problem whatsoever. Sail Life puts videos out same day, film Saturday and Sunday, and upload Sunday. Makes good videos. Cool. Hey, Carlos, since you're using your iPad, can you show us some text? I'm wondering if the text appears correctly. Yeah, hold on. There you go. Can you see my generator? Did that show correctly? I don't know. No, I think it shows backwards, doesn't it? I think it showed backwards. I'm not sure. Oh man, that's nice and cold, refreshing. Coconut rum and pineapple juice, kids. Okay, I think Dirty Grandpa sailing would get 1,000 patrons his first week, right? We call him the Marine here, yeah. No, I don't want to see Carl turn into another Rick Moore, yeah. Hey, come on, I like Rick. He's a good guy. I have a big snake on my boat in deep compartment that I have to deal with, not a snake guy here. Oh, wow, Bubba. Huh. Big snake, huh? I don't know what to tell you, what would help out with. I can throw some mothballs down there. That'll usually drive them out. Throw a bunch of mothballs down there. Different parts of my skin are different tones, and it bugs me as it goes from my face to my feet. Not pleasant, huh? Well, sorry to hear that, ma'am. Yeah, Gene, it's still backwards. I know, I saw that. Yep. Did you know that bikinis were named after Bikini Island? I did not know that. Still, Carla can't grow long hair. Maybe if you put beads in his beard. Yeah, I could grow my beard back out. Yep, still wrong way around. Yep, haberdashery. I'm in a group called the House Harriers. Huh. Okay. Well, a haberdasher, for those of you guys that don't know, is a person that uh, gives guidance to men on proper dressing. You know what to wear with what, and you know when you go pick out suits and stuff, it's the haberdasher to help you pick out your best suit. So, okay. So Rick is a good guy. Yes, he is. All right. So Douglas, if you are on here, man, we need your address to ship some stuff to. Um, But if you're not on here, well, then you're not on here. So I don't know why Douglas isn't on here. Probably sleeping. He's been sleeping a lot lately. He's been sleeping a bunch. So yeah, the sunset kind of fizzled out, guys. The sun went down behind those clouds and just kind of fizzled out. But beautiful day today. I was kind of bummed out. Todd Mills, one of the viewers, had mentioned to me about these Manhasset Bay 1 designs. I was not aware of them until he told me about it. And I spoke to the bay over here, spoke to the guys who own them. They were going to take them out sailing today, but they didn't because there wasn't enough wind. I was hoping to film some of that, but that didn't happen, at least not that I'm aware of. They were going to call me if they were going to go out, and they never called me. So, and I didn't see them out on the bay. But then again, I was busy dealing with wiring and stuff. So, I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. So, I know a high school kid that is a snake person. Perhaps he will move it for me. There you go, Bubba. Bubba, where do you live? Because I know, like, if you're like down in Florida, they have people that'll come to your house and deal with that for you. When are you shoving off, Papa? Carter Hayes, I believe I'm going to be leaving here on Thursday. Unless there's some other change in the weather pattern, which can happen. It's my intention to leave here on Thursday. And then from here, you know, I was going to try to go across the Sound and was going to go up to Connecticut, to New Haven, Connecticut. The only place that there is to anchor there is behind a seawall, which is just, you know, a bunch of rocks laid out in a big row in the water to give you some protection from the waves, but it really doesn't protect you from the wind. And there's supposed to be some pretty severe wind that night, and that wind's coming from the south. So I think instead of going to New Haven, I'm going to follow the north coast of Long Island and maybe go to Setauket. Go to Setauket, New York, out on Long Island. They've got a really good protected bay that would really snuggle me in nicely out of the weather. So I think I might go to Setauket instead of going up to Connecticut. And then from there, I'm going to cross over. But again, I'm going to watch the weather because there's a storm right now that's going to be coming through, and it almost looks like it's getting kind of stalled. So if I leave here Thursday, I should have good weather all the way till Thursday night. But then there's a possibility that Thursday night and Friday, and possibly even into Saturday, there might be some pretty bad weather still hanging out and not moving away as I was hoping it would be. But I do need to get up to Rhode Island. I got to get up there pretty quickly because I got to meet that fellow that's got my dinghy, and how cool will that be? So that's what I'm going to shove off. South Louisiana, Bubba says. Okay, Will you still have a stream nightly? Yes, I do intend on still having a live stream nightly. Bubba, if it's in the bilge container department, get some dry ice and put it in a steel colander and put it in the bilge. Well, there's an idea, Mike. Beth is watching too. Hey, Pilot, what's going on, man? Hey, Beth, how are you, darling? Big bucks and a copperhead. Be very careful, Bubba. Yep. Community here in Key West, look out for each other. The law enforcement is looking for a quota. They're after everybody sometimes relentlessly. I've been pulled over 5 times since I've been here for nada. Wow. I've only been stopped twice in the last 90 days. So I think I'm doing pretty good. Navy still have a presence in Key West. Yes, they do. They have there's an air base down there right north of Key West. Very active one, I might add. Very active one. Hey, Jason Wright, how you doing? So the good news is it looks like we're going to have the autopilot fixed, and that's sort of a major thing, guys. I mean, that's a major comfort level for me, convenience for me, and safety issue for me, because, you know, as I'm sailing, I have to run forward and deal with the mast and the lines, and, you know, and raising and lowering and all that kind of stuff, pulling the anchor and all that kind of stuff going on. And so with the autopilot working, it really gives me like a second person on board to help take care of the helm while I'm going forward and dealing with everything else. So pretty cool. Pretty cool, actually. I'm kind of jazzed about that. So, Navy has a huge presence here, operating 24/7. Helicopters flying over every single day, and all of their experimental and or jets. Yep. Only naval air in Key West now. Okay. Gotta go here. Enjoyed listening to you. Take care. Good night, UK. Hey, William. Thanks for visiting with us. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Yep, Navy Air is big here, and Special Forces are on the end of the Fleming Key. Ah, okay. Used to be a hydrofoil squadron down there, huh? Hydrofoil squadron. Interesting, huh? Pretty cool, pretty cool. Guys, 106 people watching, only 17 thumbs up. Come on, guys, pound the thumbs up. And while we're talking about that, in the description down below, you'll find links to my Patreon and my PayPal account should you want to donate to the cause. All donations are really, really appreciated right now. Very much needed. So, if you're thinking about contributing, please do. You can go to paypal.me/Carl Brook. Again, there's a description. There's a link in the description down below. Or maybe not a link. Maybe you have to highlight, copy, and paste, that kind of thing. But it's in there down below in the description should you want to donate to my PayPal or become a member of my Patreon. Now, talking about Patreon, just a reminder for those guys that don't know, starting 1 week from tonight, the Sunday night live streams are going to become Patreon only. There was some conversation about, well, afterwards, are you going to make them public? No. I've been talking to some of my patrons. They prefer being incognito. They prefer not having their information out there because some of them are getting hassled by people. So had some discussion with them, and they were pretty point blank. Nope, they want that. If we're going to do it in Patreon, it stays in Patreon. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be doing from Sunday nights from now on, only Sunday nights for the time being, only Sunday nights. Live stream is going to be Patreon only. And guys, you can join my Patreon account for as little as $4 a month. So it's not a huge amount of money. I mean, it's a huge amount of money for me right now because, what I'm doing. But normally, that's not a huge amount of money. I mean, we're talking about less than half the price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks. So, where Starbucks is kind of ridiculously high. But needless to say, there's that. Okay, there's a Scarab race boat. I doubt you'll be able to see him. I think he's right about over in here. There's a Scarab race boat going through the anchorage, and he's very loud. He's a very loud boat, so I put one together in the hopes of helping you fix yours. Yes, Carter Hayes, I did see that. Yes, I did, and I appreciate very much that he did that. So, snakes, I hate snakes. Good luck, Bob. Yeah, right. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. Oh no, what will I do? How many Patreons do you presently have? I don't know, Carter Hayes. Frankly, I don't really pay attention. I will tell you I picked up quite a few in the last few days. Quite a few. Ever since I made the announcement of the Sunday live stream going Patreon only, I've had quite a few new folks join Patreon. So I'm sure it could survive one night. There you go. What time is it? 7 o'clock on Sunday night. Same time as it is normally, except instead of being on the public, it'll be... I think you just lied. I didn't lie. I didn't lie about anything. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Do you not think your generator is loud to neighboring boats? No, Gone Sailing, I really don't. My generator sits down here inside the cockpit. It's kind of an enclosed area. I've actually jumped in and swam around the boat, and I could even barely hear the generator. I mean, I wasn't sure the generator was even running while I was swimming on the side of the boat, and I wasn't, 10 feet from the generator. So, no, the generator exhaust into the cockpit area here. It doesn't just exhaust straight out, and so, yeah, it's very quiet. In fact, I have been on board the water taxi boat, and we've pulled up here, and I've gotten off the water taxi into the cockpit before I realized the generator was running. It's that quiet. So, no, I don't think my generator bothers hardly anybody at all. Okay. I think it's May. Picking up 3. Okay. Do you know all the stats, but you don't know how many patrons you have? No, I really haven't been paying attention to it. I don't go there on a daily basis and count names and stuff. I know it shows 19. There's actually a whole lot more than that. You know, when I look on my Patreon, it tells me there's like 46 or something, but some of those are people that were patrons that aren't. Some of those are people who are lurkers. They want to be patrons, but they haven't joined Patreon yet. They're just sort of watching it. I mean, so I get, as a Patreon creator, I get a whole lot of extraneous numbers. So that varies, and it changes every day. So no, I'm busy lately, so I haven't been able to spend a whole lot of time in that. Found the soldering supplies, and I have a continuity test lamp. A test lamp you can have. Okay. All right, Doug, well, bring that over, buddy. I would appreciate that. Doug, you said you also had a little propane torch type one. Maybe try bringing that too. That actually might be better than a gun if you have one of those. I'd like to try that out too. And then, Doug, one of the guys on here was needing your address to ship some stuff to you. So I know it was Ranch Road. I didn't remember the number or the zip code. John Stratton, going great, man. Hey, Mike Mayfield, how you doing? Ray, where'd you get those numbers? Polite way of saying none of your business. There you go, Pilot. I agree. Shouldn't you be concerned that patrons' record keeping is not good? Oh, I think patrons' record keeping is just fine. I think they are always working on a bit of a delay, just like YouTube is, and as you're a creator, you kind of get accustomed to that. So, for the patron shows it, Mike. Yeah, guys, Patreon doesn't really show it accurately. So I'm just gonna say that. You can argue and jump up and down, and yell and scream all you want. I will tell you that I've never seen the numbers on Patreon accurate. For that matter, I don't see the numbers on YouTube very accurate either. I have 2 different programs that feed me my YouTube stats, and they never agree with each other. They just never do, which is why I've come to watching it myself. I just simply look at my lifetime numbers, and every day I keep track of how much that changes, and that's how many views I had. That's the only way I can figure doing it, because all of these so-called reporting programs and what have you, I've not seen any of them agree yet. So, well, I closed my little lip on here. Douglas, by the way, I did go over to the hardware store, and I got that drill bit tonight. So don't worry about that drill bit, the 1 1/8 inch drill bit. I'll show you what I'm doing with that. It's kind of, you guys don't have to see my balls here, but there's a plate. Where is it? There it is. There's a plate down there underneath the floor. That's my ignition spot where I put the key in to start the engine. I bought this cool thing from West Marine. It looks like kind of like a cigarette lighter plug type thing that you mount inside there. I got to drill a 1 1/8 inch diameter hole to install it. Then I'm going to connect 12 volt power to it. And what it does is it gives me 2 USB ports. 2 places where I can plug in my USB. So when I'm up here doing a live stream and my battery runs down, I can simply take a cord, plug it in here, and plug it in there, and I'm charging directly off of my 12 volt battery. So I think it was a really cool improvement to make, and will preclude me from having to have, a little back battery while I'm sitting here in the cockpit when I need to do stuff. It also is going to allow me to have, I have this bar that goes across here that has all my controls on it. This iPad is going to set up on that, and that power cord, I can plug a power cord in and power my laptop or my iPad all the time, because I'm moving my Navionics onto my iPad, so I can use my iPad for navigation purposes. It'll sit right next to my chart plotter, my VHF radio, and my autopilot controls. I'm getting a high-tech boat, man. My boat's getting some bling to it. Kind of cool. So the one needs new tips. Okay. Okay, I know how much solder iron pull when heating. Will the generator run it? Yeah, the generator will put out 20 amps at 125 volt. I just got to make sure that I switch it off from idlematic to just running it at full power. So, hey, Mike Mayfield, what's up, brother? Oh, Officer Mike, it's not stressful living off of the goodwill of others. Well, Carter Hayes, I don't consider myself living off the goodwill of others. I consider myself to be a creator who's creating content, and there are patrons out there who don't mind contributing to the cause to support that effort. So if you think that's living on the goodwill of others, you clearly didn't the whole creator industry. Which, by the way, why did you delete Doug, Billy? That was weird. Okay. YouTube stuff updates once an hour. Yeah, good luck with that, Ray. Good luck with that. Anyhow. Yeah, okay. Can you set that stuff to private? That's no one's business, includes me. That's why I won't ask. Okay. I won't ask. Okay. God bless you, Doug. You're a very good friend of Carl. Well, I don't know you. It appears to be a very fine man. Doug is an awesome guy. Doug, email Carl. Okay. Jared, there are services that record stats. Nothing is really private. There you go. Thanks, mods. Doug's the best. Doug don't. Oh, okay. Doug put his address up there and you deleted it. Okay. Yep. I don't know. I mean, your address, what's somebody going to do? They're going to go send them something? You really think somebody would show up at Doug's house and try to do anything? Doug would just shoot him. Wouldn't think twice about it. Just shoot him. Weren't you ever taught that if you don't have anything nice to say, there you go. You sound... Content, no entertainment. Content, no entertainment, definitely. Okay, well, Ray, you're apparently not watching the regular videos I put out once a week, because I put out as much regular videos as any other creator. Billy got a hold of some of Doug's pills. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's true. You know, and that's one of the things, I think one of the problems with my format, you know, doing all the live streams. People see the live streams, just assume that's all I do. They don't bother putting in the effort to go back and watch any of the other real content videos, so... Starbucks coffee sucks, it's bitter. Okay, well, there you go, Steve. There you have it. There you have it. Now we know. You know, I don't drink coffee, so Starbucks really isn't much of a problem for me. But, you know, my shirt actually looks pretty good in this. I'm just sitting here admiring my own shirt. It actually looks pretty good in this. What you guys don't see is how dirty this shirt is. You don't see all that stuff because I've been working in this shirt all day, and I went for a big hike today in the heat, and very quick hike, running over to the hardware store today, and that turned out to be a bit of a waste of time, but got my exercise going for a quick run today, and no, Lily was not able to go with me because she's not allowed in the hardware store. What did I say that was ugly? Merely asking a genuine question. Okay. What's up? Happy birthday, buddy. Thanks, Ian. I appreciate that, man. How you doing? White shirt when you go on a hike. Yeah, probably shouldn't have. Well, it didn't get dirty from the hike. It got dirty from all the work I was doing today. But that's all good. All right. Kind of weird in this bay. I'll hear a boat going by, and sometimes they sound like they're really close, and I get up and they're way on the other side. Kind of odd. So... anyhow, black rifle, I'll try it. Okay. Contribute something, anything positive, or know where the door is. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. Carl creates entertainment for you too. He gives you the option of assisting in funding his endeavors. Yeah, there you go, Doug. No one's required to. Nobody at all is required to, but a lot of people, you know, don't mind contributing and helping out. And right now, I really need helped out. You know, right now things are going to be tough. Gonna be very tough for a while, so got myself my back up against the wall here for a little bit. So Carter, don't mess with Frank. Nope, Frank doesn't take crap from anybody, man. Frank's a good guy. He's a good guy. Well, I'll tell you what, it's turned out to be just a beautiful evening out here in the bay. Just a most gentle breeze. Actually, if there was this much breeze earlier today, those guys would have been out sailing those boats. There's just the most gentle of breeze blowing right now. Coming from the north, huh? Breeze is coming from the north. That's odd. I would have thought it'd be coming from the south, but it's coming from the north right now. As he sets in the west, yeah, it's coming from the north, huh? Weird. Carl, guess I'm going to get this lump on my cheek lanch tomorrow, the size of a baseball. Well, about time, Frank. Jeez, buddy, we talked about getting that done a couple days ago. You shouldn't wait on stuff like that, man. Answered the question I was asking. Appreciate that. Do you have enough food for the trip? Yeah, Mike. Food. I don't think food's really going to be an issue. Of course, I wouldn't mind putting in some more fresh stuff in. But I've got a ton of canned goods and stuff. It's just making sure there's a little extra cash available for fuel, and if I have to grab a mooring ball someplace, which I'm not anticipating, but if I have to. In fact, my second night out of here, I'm gonna anchor. I think I'm gonna anchor over in Setauket, and then from Setauket I'm gonna cross over up to Connecticut. And I found an anchorage up there that actually has mooring balls that are free for the first 72 hours. Much like they are here in Port Washington. So I'll be able to go there and grab a mooring ball, which hopefully will be a good place to weather out a day or two waiting for those storms to move out of my way. And then we'll be able to head further east. So where can you buy it? Deathwish coffee is also very good, huh? But thanks for asking, Mike. Probably catch a bunch of fish on the trip. Yes, I will definitely be doing a lot of fishing on the trip. I'm going to put my lines out and be trolling the whole time now that I have an autopilot. So, Carl, cold front, hence the cool weather. Well, that cold front's bringing a lot of storms and rain, especially out on the east end of Long Island. I'm really asking a question to better understand Carl's mindset. Okay. Zach, well, it sells it. Huh. Coffee is too bad. Y'all can North British Columbia. You guys have some weird. I don't know. I've never been able to be a coffee drinker. I will drink a cup of coffee from now and then, but I am just not a big time coffee drinker. I always like my caffeine carbonated. Of course, now I've gotten away from drinking Diet Pepsi anymore, so I don't get hardly any caffeine in my system at all anymore. I mean, hardly ever. Probably one of the reasons why I sleep so well these days. Probably. Because I really enjoy sleeping now. Used to be I'd stay up, half the night and have trouble falling asleep. And if I did wake up, I'd have trouble getting back to sleep. But man, now I just, sleep like a log. So look how close this guy anchored to me. Look how close he is. This whole big bay here, all this water all the way around me. This guy goes and anchors right in front of me. And what's funny is that this guy here is traveling with that guy there. These two boats are together. They both came in, they both anchored, they both packed up their boats, grabbed their suitcases, got on the water taxi, and disappeared. Haven't seen them since they got here. They're just gone. Haven't seen anybody on those boats at all the whole time they've been here. So, and they're anchored and not on a mooring. So I guess they've got lots of confidence in their anchoring ability. So, has the mast light on? Yeah, it's on all the time. They never shut it off. They're not there. So, I guess I missed the segment where you talked about your autopilot. What did you do to fix it, Mike? It was in the beginning of this live stream. I show it in pretty good detail. There are where this plug, okay. Where this plug connects, you can see this plug has two holes in there where little probes are supposed to go into. That plugs into the power head on the wheel pilot, and on the opposite side of those two little probes, inside of the motor head, there was a broken wire. That's what the problem was. That one of the contacts had broken off and was no longer connected to anything. So that's where the problem is. I've tracked all the wires down. I've got good power out here at the end of this wire. Everything's functioning from point A to point B. It was just that one broken wire inside of the motor head that was causing the problem. So I'm trying to get a soldering gun so I can solder that and get that reassembled, and then we'll be back in business. So, okay. Mark, have to have some Kool-Aid and put a double shot of vodka in it. There you go. Ray, that's kind of rude of you. If you just because you don't understand or appreciate what's going on, tearing down somebody else that does and is supportive of me is just wrong. So I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate that attitude. So you're going in timeout for that. Carl is taking a 44-year-old sailboat and has fixed it up just enough to sail it from Sandusky, Ohio to Manhasset, New York. Well, so far, Doug, yes. And now I'm going to take it up to Cape Cod and then down to Annapolis and then down to Florida. all on my 44-year-old sailboat that I paid $2,000 for. It's because they want to come hang out with you. Well, maybe so. Doug also has a lot of others. Doug also has a lot of other what? Carl, you give me advice on audio and talked about a soft grip for your GoPro. Where did you get it? Whoa, that's a good question, man. Slipstream. I just bought them online. I just bought them online. They have a soft grip, and that way you don't get that hand noise on the stick. Um, I think it's actually a GoPro stick. I think my GoPro stick is actually a GoPro stick. My telephone ones are different, but my GoPro one is actually a GoPro stick. So, can you buy that plug from an Auto Electric or West Marine? No, Mike, unfortunately I cannot. I've not seen it. Well, probably could order it through West Marine, but I've not seen it there. In this case, it's actually where the connector is it's internal inside of the motor head is where the wire connection needs to be fixed. It's not out external, it's inside the motor head. I had to remove the connector cap off of it to get access to that. So, and then when I did that, I jumped it over with some shunts and tested it, and it worked fine. So that broken wire has to have been the problem. So, vodka's pretty good. Yes, it is, although I'm drinking rum tonight. Good news on the AP. Well, thank you, man. I'm 83 and would love some aid. Sick all the Tommy. Okay, Clint. There's a cow at our marina for $200, a 27-footer. Wow, that's a hell of a deal. It depends on how bad a shape it's in, yeah. This chat's so confusing. Okay. It was on Craigslist. Gone sailing, you got to stay on your toes. Yep. All you're doing what the rest of us dream of. Here's to continuing the adventure. Thank you, Douglas. I appreciate that, brother. Yep, having a ball, man. Having a ball. I mean, I really am. You know, I don't know what you guys are doing or where you guys are at, but you know, this is my reality, guys. This is where I'm living right now. I'm sitting here on the back of my boat, enjoying watching the other boats going by, and you know, enjoying the wind and the weather and the waves. And I mean, you can't tell me my dog doesn't like this. Look what she does. She sits up there on watch. She loves to just sit up there. She'll sit up there all day long, as long as the sun's not beating down on her. When it's cool like this, she'll just sit up there and watch the other boats go by. Lily, what are you doing? You watched all the boats go by, huh? You having fun? She loves doing that. She's a very nosy dog. She likes to know what's going on. But she'll sit up there and just watch the other boats. She'll watch the fish splash around in the bay. And she'll watch the birds fly by. She just really enjoys sitting up there and hanging out. Every now and then she'll come over and nuzzle with me and want a hug or something, and then she'll go back up there and hang out. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. The dog enjoys it. So, let's see. Sorry, trucker, new thumbs. Okay. Trucker, where's your marina? What's your favorite rum? Oh, gosh. I don't have a favorite rum, man. There's too many good ones. Cute dog. Thank you. Just repaired my son's Camaro after hitting a 300-pound haul. Well, that's not a good idea. I love Lily. Putting that up for her before you leave. Yeah, Clint, I have actually, Clint. I'm almost a little concerned about putting the net up, to be honest with you right now. I mean, I have the nets, they're bought, and I'm going to try to put them up. But you know, you can see where I've got laundry on lines now. Because Miss Lily doesn't like the clothes on the line. I'm afraid it sounds like she's going to get herself tangled up in it. So, like right now, she's trying to get herself tangled up in the fish net up there, the lily net that's sitting up on deck. She's walking around on it. So, okay, here she comes. Hello, dog. Hello, dog. Now she's going to come and get up my face. So, hi, Juliet. Pirate, did you keep it? How far offshore are you planning? Right now, I'm not going to be too far offshore. I'm going to be running Long Island Sound for the next 2 days. Then I'm going to be jumping out into the open ocean a little bit, but just follow, coastal cruising, just coastal cruising, not really going offshore at this point. When I go from Boston, if I go from Boston up to Maine, which I'm thinking about doing, I'll probably go a little offshore when I go do that. But even still, that's kind of like inside the Cape Cod area. It's really not going to be until I leave Annapolis and start heading down to Florida where I'm going to start getting out into some more open water situations. So, no law enforcement took it. Okay. Might be cheaper to buy him a rifle. When you live in Idaho, we hit a deer that was gently grazed. I grabbed it quick because they just yep. Yeah, deer don't do too much damage. 200-pound hog could do some damage to your car. We hit wombats and roos and deer. They all devastate the car. Well, guys, I'll tell you what. When I was in Montana, I was driving my excursion. We were coming back from the rodeo over at Red Lodge. We were coming through, actually over at Big Timber. And we were coming through Cook City, Montana, which is the north, what would that be, the northeast corner of Yellowstone National Park. 4th of July, as I was coming into town, I had a moose, a cow moose, run out in front of my excursion. I T-boned a cow moose doing 60 miles an hour. That will ruin your day, guys. That makes a 200-pound hog look like nothing. I had $6,000 worth of damage to my excursion. $6,000. Really mess with the worst critters. Yeah, maybe Doug could watch her short while until you get safe somewhere. Those can be turbulent waters. Turbulent waters. Well, I don't think Long Island sounds very turbulent at all, Clint, but okay. I've seen deer here, total cars, scratch, okay. Taking the load down to Florida. You're not taking the ICW down to Florida. I'm going to take the ICW for some of the trip. I'm going to get outside the ICW for some of the trip as well. What will be your first stop, Carl? My first stop, honeybees, is going to be coming out of here and going to Setauket, New York. We got moose up here, destroy cars and trucks. Most time kills drivers and passengers. Yep, Canadian, you know what I'm talking about. If you're in Canada, if you're in Maine, you're in Alaska, you know about the problem with mooses. And Montana, obviously. If you go north now, you are no longer considered a boat in transit in regard to boat registration. Yeah, right, okay. John Stratton, the ICW has changed so much due to last year's storms. It's so inconsistent. I do outside over the, okay. There's a moose loose about this hoose. I'm taking Woods Hole to the Vineyard or Nantucket. Yes, okay, I agree with you there, Clint. Yes, going around by Woods Hole, and just so you guys know, there's a lot of tide change up there, and so that creates a lot of current going through that area there. If you don't have a powerful enough boat to make the turn up into the Great Harbor there at Woods Hole, you will literally get flushed all the way out to Nantucket because it can just go that much there when the tide change is going on. You really have to just watch your timing. Not too different than going through Hell's Canyon or Hell's Gate here in New York. So not too different from that at all. Say moose on the loose along most highways. Yep. Uncle Gum is good for men with antibiotics and helps with weight loss. Huh. Moose eyes don't reflect. That's absolutely correct. Moose eyes don't reflect. When you're driving at night, like up in Alaska, and you're concerned about moose being out on the highway, what you look for is the darker spot. Whatever spot is the darkest. If you're driving along and everything's dark, but there's another spot that's like even darker than the rest of the area, that's a moose. The moose don't reflect anything. They don't have any white spots on them like a deer for you to see. They don't have a tail that goes up. Moose are just a dark hole. They're like a black hole out there. So, a car hit a battery and fell out of another car at 200 miles an hour. Wow, that would do some damage. Not cheap. There's no plural for moose. Nope. When I've heard about moose lately, I'm thinking they're one scary animal. They are, Mike. They're, Mike, Alaskan Yukon moose can run about upwards of about 1,800 pounds. So it's a big animal. And they're tall. They're tall. So most cars, when they hit a moose, they actually go underneath the moose. The body cavity of the moose, the belly of the moose is usually about the same height as the top of your steering wheel in most vehicles. So that means the big weight of the animal crashes through your windshield, taking you out. So The current is the worst. Okay. Patriot, we have signs that say alligators on roadways and panther crossings. Yep. Yeah, I don't care where you live. There's always something you got to worry about. So, yes, moose are very good to eat. One of the best wild game animals there are. Moose semen is completely sterile. Alaskan natives use it for wound care. Okay, that's a little TMI there. I'd like to try moose one day. Yeah, Mike, it's pretty good. Had I still lived in Alaska, I would have been in a position to send you some from time to time. But I do not have any. I don't have any moose steaks left anymore. So, let's see. When fins I consider a second set of reef kringles on your main. Would cost about $300. Drop the cameras. If you drop your canvas, the wind gets around 230 and it stands not safe. Huh. Yeah, probably a good idea. Actually, I'd really like to get some lazy jacks on the sail as well, and I'd like to redesign the sail bag so that it is a top closer instead of collapsing on the bottom. I mean, there's a lot of things that I could and might change, but hey, the boat's gotten me 800 miles already. I figure I've got 2,500 miles or so to go by the time I'm done getting down to Florida and the Bahamas. And by the time I start working down there, I'll afford to be able to get myself a bigger, better boat. So that will be the plan for right now, unless things change. Gator tastes good. Had it at Taste Festival. Yep, alligator is good eating. We have a sign down here that says, watch out for road chickens. And all the iguanas, yeah. Useless information time. Fresh milk from a cow is also, or any mammal, is completely sterile and great for wound care. Huh. Well, good to know. Good to know. I like fresh milk. Up here in America now, it's actually illegal to sell your fresh milk to your neighbors. If you have a dairy animal, if you have a dairy cow on your property, you go out and you milk your cow, and you don't homogenize or pasteurize the milk, you just take that raw milk, you're not allowed to sell it to your neighbors. It's illegal in America. One of the things our founding fathers didn't find it necessary to try to regulate or protect was the right to farm in America, because I think the idea would have been so foreign to them that you can't milk your cow and sell your neighbor a gallon of milk. I mean, that would have just been unconscionable to them at that time. And yet here we are today. That's the way it is. So, okay, ditch mileage is not ocean miles. Yep. Tucker, I don't want to know how they get the semen. In Key West, you're still planning on selling real estate when you get to Florida. States have changed that. Ohio isn't one. We have same stupid rules here, but you can buy oysters in the supermarket. There's a large milk movement here. Yeah, there's a raw milk movement going on here as well. So, Carter Hayes, am I still planning on selling real estate when I get to Florida? As of right now, yes. I'm going to be selling real estate. I'm also going to be sailing back and forth between Florida and Bahamas. I'm still going to be generating content just like I am now. I'm just going to be also trying to sell a little real estate to increase my revenue, so I can step up into a bigger boat. There's a guy here in Ontario that sells shares in his cows, so buyers can. Yeah, and Slipstream, that's the usual ploy around it. That's the thing that they're doing to kind of get around that whole thing, is you buy an ownership interest in the cow, and then you're not necessarily buying the milk, you're just buying, rude of them. Horn blowing. Why are they shutting down raw milk? They did that here in the United States as well. Because a lot of people don't have the antibiotics in their body anymore to deal with raw milk. Will be hard to show houses without a car. I will be getting a car while I'm in Florida. Carl, great to see you. Hey, Wood Beast, what's up, man? How you doing? Good to see you, too. They sent in a shaved monkey to get the job done. I suggested someone go with you on your trip. I would love for someone to go with me on my trip, Clint. I really would. It would be nice to have somebody on board with me. I would enjoy that. I'm not sure who it would be right now, but I would enjoy that. So, anyhow, guys, we've gone well past the hour. We're at the 75-minute mark here. Shameless shout-out time. If you're a YouTuber, if you have a YouTube channel, or you're trying to promote some other social media event, go ahead and jump out now and say, hey guys, check me out and subscribe, and see if you can pick up some subscribers off of my viewers. That would be great. I don't mind people doing that. So, hey, James DeGroot. He has a YouTube channel, looking weatherman who lives on Long Island. Does an in-depth forecast, follows the top. Oh, okay. Huh. Interesting, James. Pick me. I'm a minor, though. Yeah, can't be a minor. Wasn't wearing a diaper, I'd go with you. 83 is a bitch. Hey, Clint, brother, I understand, man. I do understand. Sailing SV Slipstream. There you go. Slipstream's got a YouTube channel. Check them out. Have a good night, Grandpa. Thank you, Carter Hayes. You take care, buddy. Mike Smith, I missed the days when they delivered glass bottles of milk to your front door. Shout out to Frank Daniels. Okay. All right, guys. Well, man, I was a bummer. Not a single person donated on my PayPal tonight. I was kind of surprised. But, you know, what a lot of people are doing now is they're waiting until the live stream is over because they don't want to have to deal with the trolls. And so after the live stream is over, should you donate to my Patreon or my PayPal account, it doesn't get announced, and so no one will know you did it, but I will send you a personal email thanking you for the donation. Again, that's Patreon. You can go to Patreon/Carl Brook, patreon.com/Carl Brook. There's a link in the description down below for that, and also for my PayPal, which is paypal.me/Carl Brook, should you want to donate to the cause, because, guys, I could really use the funds right now. So, anyhow, guys, be good, be careful. We'll talk to you later. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you in the morning, guys. Bye.